Hi, third grade. This is Number Corner. This is something we're going to be going over more in depth when you come to school in person. We're going to be flipping cards over on the date, and we're going to make some observations on a chart based on what we see. You will be following along on a chart piece of paper that you have. You will be writing down exactly what I write down. Let's get started. So this would be for September 1st. Notice it's a 1. That's for the 1st of September. Let's look at what we see. I see a circle and I see a star. I'm going to go over to my calendar grid and I'm going to make some observations. First, I'm going to start by writing the date. It was September 1st. I'm going to start with a 9, which stands for September, 1 for the 1st, and then it's the year 2020. For a model, what did we see? That model is called a loop because we saw a circle. That's what the model is called. For the description, we're going to write what we saw. So we saw one circle or one loop, and we saw one star. Using the information, we are going to make an equation. We're going to be making a multiplication equation out of our information. So I had one circle or one loop, and I'm going to multiply it by the one star that I saw. 1 times 1 equals 1 because I only saw one star. Going back to our calendar grid, we're going to flip the next day. Remember, this 2 stands for September 2nd. Now I see something called a T-chart. On one side of my T-chart, it says bikes. On the other side, it says wheels. Bikes, I have 1 bike, 2, and 3. I've got to figure out how many wheels are on one bike. Well, I know based off my prior knowledge that a bike has 2 wheels. So 1 bike has 2 wheels, 2 bikes has 4 wheels, and 3 bike has 6 wheels. So now I'm going to go over and I'm going to make my observations. Again, I've got to write the date, September 2nd, 2020, and my model this time is called a T-chart. Now I'm going to write what I saw. I saw 1 bike, and remember we talked about how 1 bike has 2 wheels. So for my equation, again, remember I'm making a multiplication equation. 1 bike times 2 wheels. 1 times 2 equals 2. 2 what? 2 wheels. I forgot to tell you that beforehand. 1, we saw 1 star. Let's always label what we are counting. Coming back, I'm going to flip the next card. Remember, the 3 stands for September 3rd. This is a picture talking about what I see. I see 1 snowman. Well, it wants to know how many spheres. 1 snowman has 1, 2, 3 spheres. Going over to our observation page, writing the date, September 3rd, 2020. This time my model is a picture. And our description, we saw 1 snowman, and he had 3 spheres. Making my equation, I have 1 snowman times those 3 spheres. 1 times 3 equals 3, and 3 what? 3 spheres. All right, next we have the 4th of September. This is called an array. I see an array with red squares. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I only have 1 column of those 4 squares. Coming over here, we write the date, the 4th of September, 2020. Our model is an array. What did I see? I saw 1 column with 4 in each row. I'm going to run out of room, but that's okay. To write my equation, I have 1 column times 4. 1 times 4 equals 4 cubes. All right, next we have the 5th of September. Now you'll notice that this picture looks a lot like what we've seen before. We're going back now. We're starting to have a pattern, and you'll see a pattern as we go on. So now I have 5 loops or circles, and I have 1 apple in each of those loops. So going to make my observations, I start with the date, the 5th. Again, I'm starting over with a new with the same pattern. It would be a loop. So what did I see? I saw 5 loops or circles and 1 apple in each. So to write an equation, now it's going to be a little bit different. You'll notice my 5 came first. The commutative property tells me I can write them either way and get the same answer. So I'm going to start with my 1. That 1 apple in each times 5 loops. We have 1 times 5 equals 5 apples because in my picture I had 5 apples. All right, flipping the next card, I'm going to start to move a little bit faster because these are things we've seen. Again, we have a T-chart. 1 person has 2 eyes, 2 people have 4 eyes, so 3 people have 6 eyes. Going over, I'm going to write my date. Again, we're doing a T-chart. You'll notice a pattern. Okay, so what did I see? I saw 3 people had 6 eyes. Using that to make my equation, a little bit different. 3 times 2 eyes, 3 people times 2 eyes equals 6 eyes. All right. The next one, oh, we have a picture again. In my picture, I have 1 week. It wants to know how many days are in a week. There are 7 days in a week. So over here, I'm gonna write my date. Again, following my pattern, I saw a picture. What did I see? I saw 1 week. That was 7 days. Write an equation. 1 times 7, 1 week times 7 days equals 7 days. You'll notice a pattern right here. All right, flipping my next card. Remember, this is called an array. I have 2 columns going down, and I know that I have 4 in each of those columns. So coming over, I will write my date. I have an array. Okay, remember, I saw 2 columns with 4 in each. Writing my equation, 2 times 4. 2 times 4 equals 8. And remember, I saw those little cubes. 8 cubes total. And the last one, the 9th of September. Ooh, following our pattern, I see loops again. Okay, I have 3 loops, and in each loop, I have 3. Let's write this. Our date. Remember, this is called a loop. So what did I see? I saw 3 loops and 3 in each.
All right, so we're gonna write our equation. So remember, we had those 3 loops. There were 3 in each. So 3 times 3 equals 9. And we had 9 what? 9 hexagons.
That concludes our number corner. Now, some days you will be making observations at home. It may not match the exact date, but we want you to be able to make observations every day, even when you're not in person. When you are home, you will find a paper just like our grid in your binder. You will follow the instructions on Canvas that tell you to make observations of the specific card. You will follow just like we did, starting with the date. You'll write the model, the description, and the equation. Remember to look for those specific patterns. And don't forget, have fun!